אשר לא הלך בעצת רשעים, ובדרך חטאים לא עמד, ובמושב לצים לא ישב. כי אם בתורת אדוני חפצו, ובתורתו יהגה יומם ולילה. והיה כעץ שתול על פלגי מים, אשר פריו ייתן בעיתו, ועולהו לא ייבול, וכל אשר יעשה יצליח. לא כן הרשעים כי אם כמוץ אשר תדפנו רוח, על כן לא יקומו רשעים במשפט, וחטאים בעדת צדיקים, כי יודע אדוני דרך צדיקים ודרך רשעים תאבד. מזמור לדוד. אדוני מי יגור באוהליך, מי ישכון בהר קודשך. הולך תמים ופועל צדק, ודובר אמת בלבבו. לא רגל על לשונו, לא עשה לרעהו רעה וחרפה לא נשא על קרובו. נבזה בעיניו נמאס, ותראה אדוני יכבד. נשבע להרע ולא ימיר, כספו לא נתן בנשך, ושוחד על נקי לא לקח, עושה אלה לא ימות לעולם. מזמור לדוד. אדוני רואי לא אחסר, בינות דשא ירביצני, על מי מנוחות ינעלני. נפשי ישובב, ינחני במעגלי צדק למען שמו. גם כי אלך בגיא המוות לא ירא רע, כי אתה עמדי. שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני, תערוך לפני שולחן נגד צורריי, תשענת בשמן ראשי כוסי רוויה. אך טוב החסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. Last Kumeran to come and lead us with chapter 23 in Psalms in English.
A song of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not lack. God causes me to lie down in lush pastures. God leads me beside tranquil waters. God restores my soul and guides me in the righteous paths for God's name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of the shadows of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your scepter and staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in full view of my adversaries. You have anointed my head with oil, my cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days.
You know, when once a year in the temple in Jerusalem, the high priest used to walk into the Holy of Holies. It was the highlight of the year, when the holiest man of the year walks into the holiest place of the year, in the holiest day of the year. He had a few mere moments in the Holy of Holies. That always people ask, what was he praying there? What was he saying? He had a few moments there. The answer is, he said nothing. Because there are moments in life that words cannot express your feelings. That's what I felt on Wednesday night. I'm sure everyone who heard it felt the same. When I heard the news and I came over to the house, the shock, the pain was so great that I had nothing to say. I have no word to tell Anne. And I said the same thing to the kids yesterday, to Aaron and to Rabin, to Abraham and to Sammy and to Andrew and to his brother Steve and all the other mourners. I just saw him, and Mark were Sunday night. We married off our son, and they came to Detroit. We hugged each other, and I told Mark, soon we'll celebrate. Your son's wedding, Aaron's wedding, and Rabin. And he smiled. I told him we are looking forward for this wedding. And he was happy. And just a few days later, we are here together. A man in the prime time of his life, 56 years old, when he was ready to run for presidency, and to such a tragedy to take place. Marc was born in 1959 in Washington, D.C. to his parents Edmund and Frances Feldman, who are alive and well and live in Baltimore. From very young age, the parents saw that he's a genius. He was a genius in math, in everything really what he wanted to know. When he was 4 years old, his parents tell a story that his mother went with them to buy shoes, and the cash register was broken. Then they couldn't figure out how much they have to pay. That he says, the little boy tells his mom, "Tell me the numbers, I'll tell you how much change you're supposed to get." Later in life, he went to school to the Hebrew Academy in Washington, D.C. And as the kids told me yesterday, the class was considered a bad class. But there was one person who saved the whole class. That was his Hebrew name, Mordechai Issa. Mordechai saved the class. And the teacher used to scream a whole day on the rest of the kids, "Why cannot be like Mordechai? Why cannot be like Mordechai?" And he was the best students, not only in not a good class, wherever he went, he was the best student. Before high school, one of the teachers, they had a conversation with another boy. He told him, "You have to go to Hebrew Academy, to the Jewish high school, to get to say more Judaism." He tells him, "Why you don't tell it to Mordechai?" He tells him, "Because Mordechai, he knows it. He has a strong commitment. He will continue his Judaism, but you need it." Then he continued to high school, college. Then he went to John Hopkins Medical School. And he did his training there. And there we met the love of his life. And as he tells the story, he saw her in a parking lot. And she was holding many catalogs of some, I don't know what exactly was it, was furniture or some. And he asked for one catalog. And she gave him. That was the beginning. He comes into the hospital. A doctor tells him, "You really care for this girl." He says, "Why you say so?" He said, "Because you left your car on." And since then it was a love story. I think they met in October or November, I don't remember. And they got engaged in February and got married in June, right? It was quick. The Orthodox way of doing things, not wasting time. They settled in Washington, D.C. He met her actually in the hospital. She was also a nurse there. And Aaron was born there. Abraham was born there. And life was good. And then Alex was born. And the first day the doctor says everything is good. But the second day, the mother, motherly instinct felt that something is not right with this baby. She told him, rush him to the emergency room, and they brought all the doctors, and they discovered he had a real sickness. I don't know all the medical terms. I'm not good on this. I'm for sure not a doctor. But Marc made it his business to save this child. And whatever Marc decided to delve in, it was all the way. He had a passion. He got his life, whatever he dedicated his life, it was 150%, nothing less than that. And he saved this child. He found new research that they never did before. He discovered new ideas and all kinds of medical treatments that only he was able to pull together and push the doctors to try to do it. And because of the research and what he did for his son, for Alec, many, many other people and children were saved in many places in the world due to his credit to what he did with his son. And for 16 years, Alec, that he himself said it was a miracle, was alive with the family. And then in 1998, they moved to Cleveland, because the Cleveland Clinic recruited them because they opened the eye center and they needed somebody, an anesthesiologist that who is trained in this field. And because he was a very, very good in his field, they asked him to come here, and that's where the family moved to town. And they built up in Cleveland a beautiful life together. This crowd who is here today is a testimony to what a wonderful family it is that Anne, together with Mark, built together here. He was a teacher to many medical students. He loved to teach. He loved to share his knowledge with everyone. As I told him yesterday, he was in small talks, he was quiet. He didn't push himself. But whenever you started a conversation with him, he was the most intelligent person. Whatever issue he was talking about, he had a passion about. He believed in his way. He believed that he is right. But he knew all the information about whatever the issue was. And I love to spend time with him, to talk to him always, because it always was an interesting and very intelligent conversation. And then a few years ago, Alec got sick, and the whole life, the life of the family turned upside down. And again, he dedicated all his life for it, tried to find any type of cure to his son's sickness. He never told me that, but as he said later, there is a whole video on YouTube that I saw last night that he tells kind of his life story. And he says how much fear he had that he will that he will lose his son. But later, for some reason, he had like a revelation, and it gave him strength not to be fearful anymore. But for sure, this was the strongest effect on his life, and he never shared his feelings, but you can see on him, you were able to see on him how much he suffers. After Alec died, he dedicated his life to two main things. He started to learn the Daf HaYomi. Daf HaYomi means the Talmud. If you learn 2 pages of the Talmud every day, in 7 years you complete it. This is a commitment, even for a great scholar, it's a huge commitment. For Mark, who didn't go to yeshiva, to the regular yeshiva, to where you learn Talmud. He went to Hebrew Academy, but he didn't go to where you really learn how to study Talmud as an adult in high school and college, yeshiva college. This is the age. And he on his own, because he was such a smart man, he was actually a genius, he was continuing every day to study the Talmud. And quite a few times he had conversations with me about concept that he learned in the Talmud, and he quoted, and it was always I learned something. Always he had something to point out in the Talmud. And the other thing is, he was running to be nominated for presidency in the Libertarian Party. Until he was running for this, I never knew that there is a Libertarian Party altogether. But I still try to figure out exactly what is the agenda. But he was with his whole passion fighting for it. And every time when people talked to him about it, he was laughing, he was smiling, because he knew that people are having fun with it. But he believed in his mission. But what I can tell you, all the kids, and Twain especially, you raised a beautiful family. You have amazing children. Every parent wishes for such kids. You did it together. And both of you deserve a lot of credit for such an amazing family. Mark from above and you from here, together, you'll marry off your children. תהי נשמתו צרורה בצרור החיים. Now we'll ask from Abraham. Abraham is going to come over, say a few words, and then Andrew.
So Marc Feldman, my primary advisor, the Seder leader at home, our Shabbat dinner chef, our comedian, our politician, our mentor, our role model. Now I realize I didn't laugh enough at his jokes, and I didn't listen enough to his advice, and I didn't cherish enough of his selflessness. He's one of the most honest, most courageous, most confident and passionate people, and definitely the most selfless father. I remember when I first moved to Ohio State, I was getting a little homesick my first day there, and it was a work day for him. And I texted him just one text saying, I was a little bit lonely and a little bit a little bit homesick there. And he immediately started leaving the clinic and driving down to Columbus to meet me for lunch. Similarly, when I moved to Chicago and I felt a lot of anxiety about moving, we went on a several-hour search for Ethernet cable so I could be connected to the internet so I could Skype home. He was a man of a lot of projects. Most recently, a lot of people know about his libertarianism. He also had his internet company, Openovo, and his most important project, Marc Feldman. Within a few months, he became the world expert on all of Alec's problems. He knew better than a lot of the doctors at Sloan Kettering, the doctors at the Cleveland Clinic, the doctors at Hopkins. He was Alec's intensivist in the ICU for 2.5 months. His favorite joke at the time was to say he gets out less than a dog, but more than a couch. My life is mirrored after my dad's, not purposefully, but he was a child with a lot of great math skills, as you've heard. He went to a college based on a scholarship. He majored in philosophy, and then he went to medical school, just like I did. And something I'll be regretting is that I wish I could have shared anesthesia with him going forward. I'll miss him having all the answers for us. I never felt lost. I never felt worried. Even over the last day, we've had a lot of decisions to make, and I just thought, I'll just ask Dad. That's a very simple way to solve our problems. I kind of feel like we lost our keystone, our leader, our protector. And for the rest of my life, I lost that lifeline for any small or big question. And my family has suffered a lot. And obviously there's always more to be suffered, but what we're going to have to do going forward is strive to be a little bit more like him and still think about what he would answer those questions, what he would say if we asked those things. So going forward, we have to try to be a little bit more confident, have a little bit less fear, have some more humanism, some more honesty, and provide more love to others. Thanks.
Before I begin, I want to thank everyone for being here and supporting me and my family. Your attendance brightens me up at this tough time, and it really, words can't explain how much this means. So my dad had always been an important figure in my life, but I only realized how much of a role model he was at this moment that I can't tell him. Okay. For me, I knew my dad as a dad. That was his occupation, and that was his priority. Although he was a doctor, even head of the Coli Institute, I can't recall a single time he didn't pick up the phone when I called. No matter what hour I was calling, no matter how silly my problem was, he would always pick up the phone, and he was always ready there to help. Not only was he there to help, but he loved to help. And I know that the reason I understand fractions today is because of my dad's enthusiasm and persistence in teaching them to me. The reason I could come to school prepared and ready to learn every day was because I had a teacher at home that other students didn't have. I had a figure that I could go to for any math problem, any science, whatever it was. I knew that he had the answer to any problem and would be happy helping me with it. One of my fondest memories with my dad was our walks to Green Road Synagogue together. From a very young age, we would make the 3-mile trek to shul through snow, rain, fog, or any of the 3 combinations Cleveland could come up with. It wasn't the walk or the view that I loved, it was the conversation. When I was very young, conversation was childish but engaging. I remember asking questions like who invented the car and how loud would I have to be to talk to somebody on the moon. Even though these are ridiculous, he would always answer. And he had such a you would think that these questions would just be, answers would be ridiculous, but he took them seriously. He put time into it, and he went on this vast array of knowledge that he had to foster my intellectuality. Slowly the years went by, and our conversation grew more and more sophisticated. We would talk about complex scientific topics that I learned in school, things like that. And finally, the peak of this relationship was our philosophical conversations. We would talk about things ranging from the nature of religion and faith to the purpose of government and our free will, especially in his libertarian hopes. My dad was very passionate in all of these areas, and that's why he was able to talk to me about them. It was that he always had a passion. He would find something, he would focus on it, and he would learn about it, and he would love to spread this knowledge to people. And he would learn about something, and he wanted everyone to know how much he cared about it and to help them expand themselves the same way he did. My dad had given me a yearning to think, foster my own thirst for knowledge, to find truth and understanding in all areas of life, and I hope that will stick with me going forward in life. The last thing I want to touch upon is how funny my dad was. He always had a joke to tell. Whenever I was sad, if I didn't do well on a test or whatever the situation was, he was always there to cheer us up, no matter the times. I remember on our walks back from synagogue, after we had worked out all our spirituality, we would quote stand-up comedy specials. We would talk about Mork and Mindy. We would joke around, and that's really who he was. He was a scholar, but he was there to help people, and he was there to improve people's lives. And like Abram had said, I couldn't put it better myself, that if we can all be more like the man he was, that it'll be a better place for my family and for everyone in our community.
Please rise for the memorial service. מרדכי איסר, בן יחזקאל, בן יצחק יחזקאל.
El Mali Rachamim, Shoichein Bamaroimim, Hamtzei Menucha Nechaina, Al Kanfei Ashchina, B'malais Kedoshim At Utairim, Kizayar Kiyam Azirim, Es Nishmas, Mordechai Yisr, Ben Yitzchak Yecheskel, Shalach Leilamai, Bavor Shanachnu Ispalim, Ba'ad Askaras Nishmasai, Began Eden Tiyem Menuchasai, Lachein Balarachamim, Yastireyu, Beseser Knafav, Leilamim, Vitrar Betzrer Achayim Es Nishmasai, Adonai Hu Nachalasai, Vianuach B'Shalom Amishkavai, V'neimar Amen. God, full of compassion, who dwells on high, grant proper repose on the sheltering wings of your presence, and the lofty levels of the holy and pure, who shine in your brightness of firmament onto the soul of Mordechai Yecheskel, Mordechai Isser ben Yitzchak Yecheskel, who has gone to his world and whose memory we pray. May his repose be in paradise. May the Master of Compassion bring him under the cover of God's wings and bind the soul in the bond of life. May the Lord be his heritage, and may he repose on his resting place in peace. And let us respond, Amen.
May be seated. The funeral will continue now to Baltimore, where Marc wanted to be buried next to his son Alec. From Sunday, we'll start a little sitting Shiva in Cleveland. In the morning we'll have services 7 o'clock every morning from Sunday to Sunday 8 o'clock, and from Monday to Thursday 7 o'clock. And the evening services will be 7:30 from Sunday to Wednesday, and the hours for welcoming people is from 8 to 10, 2 to 4, and 7 to 9.